Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to show you how to fix rocker panel rust on a Mazda Miata. This video can be used as a general guide for other vehicles as well. Let's get started. As you can see, the rust is pretty bad on the driver's side rear rocker panel. The passenger side is nearly as bad. Luckily, we don't have any rust spreading up through this wheel arch, which will complicate our repair. However, this entire section will probably need to be replaced. If we poke around in here with the screwdriver, you can see a lot of stuff breaking loose. You're going to want to try to clean out as much of that as you can. And really, some of this that even looks solid might start breaking apart on you. You can see I'm just poking this with a screwdriver, and it's kind of just fallen away where it's rusted through and where it's badly damaged. The more you get out now, the less you're going to fling around when you start grinding. What I like to do is cut away some of the metal with my grinder and see how bad the damage really is. Go around the perimeter and any rust bubbles and see what comes out of it. If there's holes, you're probably going to need to cut out that section. You now need to identify spot welds that are going to need to be cut out. They're along the wheel arch, down near the bottom of the panel, near the pinch weld, and there's a couple along the face of the panel where the quarter panel and the rocker panel intersect. Use a center punch in the middle of each spot weld that needs to be removed. After you do that, you can go around with your spot weld cutter and cut out just the lower layer of metal only. You'll be able to see the gap between both layers of metal. You don't want to cut too far into your inner one because that's metal you'll try to save. Use a hammer and a chisel to separate the outer layer of metal from the inner. If you missed any spot welds at this point, you're going to know it. They should come apart relatively easy. Now removed all metal that was held on by spot welds. Now we need to worry about the upper portion. Now's a good time to start forming a patch panel. Use a template made from thick paper, cardstock, or cardboard and transfer it to your metal. Cut out the metal and start bending it into shape. Take your time on this step. Proper fitment will make your welding much easier, especially on the butt joint weld. I'm happy with the fitment of my patch panel, so I've traced a line on the quarter panel where I want to make my cut. Use a cutoff wheel to make the cut that will remove the remainder of the material. Remember to cut on the inside of your guidelines, as having excess metal is better than taking away metal you can't replace. Remove the excess metal and clean up your edges. You want a nice straight line for your joints. Use a grinding wheel or a flap disc to remove the remainder of the rust on the inside panel. If it's too rotted in here, you may have to weld in an extra patch. I'm going to use Pour 15 to protect the inside panel from future corrosion. Remember to mask off any areas where you want to weld to, because you won't be able to weld through this stuff. After the rust inhibitor is cured, spray weld-through primer on any remaining metal surfaces. This will allow you to weld through, while still protecting the surface from corrosion. Use a flap disc or other sandpaper to expose the bare metal on the area where you'll be making your butt joint welds. Do this along any edges or any seams. On your new patch panel, mark the areas where you'll be doing plug welds. These will be the same areas where your spot welds were from the factory. Drill or punch holes for your plug welds. These should be larger than 3/16 of an inch. Again, expose any bare metal on edges where you'll be welding. Spray the backside of the patch panel with weld-through primer to avoid future corrosion. Now is a good time to make any final adjustments to your patch panel. You don't want to tack it on and realize you have to make changes. Once the panel is clamped in place, begin tack welding it. When you have the panel tacked in place, focus on your plug welds. Make sure you practice first on the same type of metal, with the same orientation, and the same size plug welds in order to get this perfected before you do it on the car. Once satisfied with your welds, begin grinding it down. If you have good penetration, you should be able to grind the weld flush to the panel. Additionally, use a flap disc to bring the area around your repair down to bare metal. You want to do this so your body filler will stick. Mix the body filler and activator thoroughly. Work quickly and apply the filler to the repair area. Keep in mind that you'll need to be sanding most of this off afterwards, so don't go too heavy. Once the filler is dried, begin block sanding. Sand past the repaired area onto the OEM finish in order to get a good blend. Remember to change the angle and direction at which you sand periodically in order to avoid any grooves being cut into the filler. Use the palm of your hand to evaluate the flatness of the panel after you think you're done sanding. Once you're satisfied with the flatness of the panel, you can begin applying your texturized finish. If there is any remaining exposed metal, you may want to apply an etching primer first in order to get proper adhesion between the paint and that surface. If you want your bodywork to be perfect, you should probably use a high build sandable primer before this step. This will help you remove any additional low spots or high spots in your finish. Try to match the OEM finish with your spraying. Afterwards, you can sand this texturized finish a little bit to get a closer match if needed. Once the texturized finish is dry, you can begin spraying your top coat. I've decided to use a single stage paint in aerosol form for the simplicity, but you can use a base coat and clear coat if you prefer. With each coat, paint over a larger area in order to blend the finish. Your final coat should cover an area significantly larger than your actual repair area. As the final coat of paint dries, you can admire your work and move on to the other side.